High above Antequera in the inland hills of the Costa del Sol lies one of Spain's most bizarre landscapes, El Torcal. My name is Juan and today I'm taking you on a hike through these million-of-year-old limestone formations, shaped by wind, water and time. In summer it feels like a bright barren rock desert, like a science fiction movie set. In winter, however, the whole place becomes far more mystical, as you will see in a moment. This video is a combination of summer and winter footage. Last summer I only had my drone and a rather mediocre camera with me. The hiking footage, however, was filmed just 2 weeks ago at the end of November. That way you can really see how different the landscape looks depending on the season and how dramatically it can change. El Torcal is located about 45 minutes to the north of Malaga and can be reached via both the regular road and the toll road. Time-wise, there's barely a difference. Without tolls, the route is a bit more adventurous and leads along country roads as well, but it's absolutely manageable even for beginning drivers, and in my opinion you're rewarded with great views. In summer, good footwear and plenty of water are essential. In winter, bring warm clothing as an addition, because it can get really cold. El Torcal is suitable for beginner, for young and for old alike, and if you're reasonably fit on your feet you can hike there without any issue at all. There are 2 to 3 different routes, more on that in a moment, but yeah, important is you can drive all the way up to the parking area. Both entrance and parking are free. Even if you have limited mobility, you can still enjoy the restaurant and the visitor center and take a view from the lookout point, which is essentially level. The hikes themselves, however, are rocky and uneven, so you do need stable legs and feet. When we arrived, well, you see, visibility was non-existent basically, thick fog, but honestly the fog gave the landscape its own special charm. Because of the weather we decided to take the green route instead of the yellow one, which is, yeah, the green one is shorter and easier one. We originally planned to do the longer one, the yellow trail, but as I said, thanks to the weather we decided otherwise. Later, once the fog lifted, after we finished the hike, so it looked like this, I ran back for a moment to capture a few shots with better visibility, but anyway, it's like that. There's a small mountain lodge, visitor center. You can buy souvenirs, hats, walking sticks and so on. It's a small geology exhibit, toilets and surprisingly good restaurant offering local dishes plus burgers if you want so. Prices are fair, coffee, tea, everything you need. It's a nice place to wait for better weather if you want so, or just enjoy the view as well. Next to this lodge you will find the route maps, or within the lodge. Highly recommended scanning the QR code and saving the trail to your phone. Reception is usually good and coverage, but between some of the formations you may temporarily lose signal. GPS however continues to work, so scan the QR code, save offline, done. It looks like this, and especially in weather like this it gets really frustrating if you lose the track, even though it's well done. One thing that's a bit confusing, the layout of the visitor center. Intuitively you want to walk straight into the landscape from there, but as you see here, it's the wrong direction. The signs at the parking area show the correct starting point. So yes, we started backwards this time, but it's no issue at all because it's really big everywhere. It might get a little bit more difficult if you walk the other way around, so I recommend using the recommended routes, obviously. You can wander around Torcal for hours if you want to, and even if you accidentally walk in the wrong way around, nothing bad happens. At most it slightly increases the difficulty because some parts are intended as descents become ascents, and nothing dramatic. So I will now show you a few summer photos to break up the grey winter mood. So a quick detour on what the Torcal actually is. The entire area lies about 1,300 meters above sea level and was roughly 150 million years ago deep under the ocean. Layer by layer, sediment accumulated, were later lifted upward and shaped by rain. That's how this gigantic natural monument was formed, and in my opinion one of the most spectacular karst landscapes in southern Spain, or in general. Every rock you see here was once on the seabed. That's pretty incredible, I think, and naturally the area is known for its fossils as well. And because of the fog, we briefly lost the trail, despite it normally being well marked with post and colored markers. So I checked my phone for orientation, and suddenly we were standing right in the middle of a herd of wild Iberian Ibexes. So we carefully and quietly walked past them. If this happens to you, please don't feed them, don't chase them for a selfie, don't disturb them. They might be used to some humans, but still respect the wildlife. It's poor enough in zoos, but yeah, respect the wildlife. All I can summarize on this. In summer, visitors come from all over Spain, hikers, photographers, nature lovers. The area is also fantastic for night sky photography if you want to. Between the rock labyrinth, the view suddenly opens up. Sometimes you can even see all the way toward the Sierra Nevada. And most of the route is easygoing and also manageable for people with a mild or even strong fear of heights. There are no sheer drops you need to stand or stare at. And yeah, that's basically it. With morning light or clear weather, the Torcal has completely different atmosphere. Fog, on the other hand, as you see, gives it something mysterious, in my opinion. So summer and winter really feel like two different worlds here. The terrain is uneven, but you don't need climbing skills at all. Only sure footing. Hiking boots are recommended. Sneakers work too, though in the wet, like here, they're not ideal. It also gets really muddy in some parts and slippery, and you will absolutely dirty your shoes and clothes. So this mud is stubborn, as you can see, and yeah, it's recommended to just go with hiking gear if you have it, but not essential. For me, El Torcal is a highlight at any time of the year. I've been there several times while in Andalusia, and this place often gets overlooked between all the beautiful white villages, Granada, Alhambra, Sierra Nevada, Malaga, Sevilla, Costa Tropical, Costa del Sol, Costa de Luz, but Cadiz. But El Torcal is really something truly special in my opinion. Antequera itself, it's also worth a visit. It has prehistoric caves and a charming old town. I will probably make a separate video about that. This area has a lot to offer actually, and here you just don't encounter nature, you encounter deep time itself if you want so. So if you experienced the silence once, you will carry it with you, at least for the rest of the day. And it's ideal for a day trip from Malaga or even Granada. It's perfect. Depending on where you stay, plan 45 minutes to 1 hour, maybe 1.5 from Granada to get here. Hike first, then drive down to Antequera, visit the caves and Old Town. You can even grab dinner first at El Torcal or later in the Old Town of Antequera. You can drive back. That's actually the order I would recommend, because after the hike you will know whether you still have the energy left to visit an Old Town and do some walking there. So it's up to you, but that's my recommendation. As I said, entrance is free, parking is free, the food at the top is alright. The viewpoint lets you see all the way to the sea, to the Mediterranean. Nature is incredible. You can hire even guides for get a guide, for example, or join paid tours, but you don't need to. So unless you want deeper geological or fossil explanations, I think there are even bus tours to the Torcal from Malaga on. To summarize, the Torcal is totally worth visiting all year round. No entrance fee, as I said. You can hike with or without a guide. The green route takes about an hour or so. Is suitable for even children and kind of older visitors, like 60, maybe 70 years old, depending on how fit you are. 80 maybe not. But anyhow, the yellow route is longer and more demanding. You can easily spend 4 or 5 hours if you want so. Bring food and water, take your trash with you after, of course. And surprisingly, the area is super clean. I recommend downloading the offline Google Maps via the QR code in the visitor center. Even though the paths are generally well marked, but in heavy fog like we had, it can get tricky. Not impossible, just annoying. The green route is suitable for everyone, as I said. The yellow one requires more fitness. You can extend your hike beyond if you wish. Either way, enjoy this unique place. My written guide, if it's ready, I will put it in the link in the video description with some photos maybe and additional driving tips. If you have suggestions for improvements, I always appreciate constructive feedback. English is my third language and I do this channel in German and English. And yeah, if you have any recommendations, I would be happy and appreciate constructive feedback. If you have ideas for future videos or topics you want me to cover, or write them in the comments as well. If I did forget anything, yeah, just let me know. I will answer in best possible way. For now, I say hasta luego, adios, and maybe we will see each other someday in El Torcal near Antequera.